Ang topic naman na i-discuss natin ngayon ay tungkol sa long columns. Ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng short columns dun sa long columns natin? Pagka sinabing short column, so by the word itself, short means may lang yung length ng ating column. And because of the actual loads that acts dito sa ating column, what happened to your column or short column is ay nagpe-fail siya due to compression or maybe tension, but in most cases, compression. And ang possible na failure niya is crashing or pwede ring shear failure. It depends on the amount of the actual load. Ngayon, pagka sinabi namang long column, kasi tawag na long column kasi mahaba. Mahaba ang column natin. And due to the actual load, what happens to your long column is magbe-bend siya. Short column magbe-bend din naman, but hindi siya ganun significant yung bending niya. But in long column, once na nag-bend yung ating column, there are two cases. Later, we will discuss the two types of bending of your long column. But in this case, nag-bend siya in a single curvature. So, it will cause a deflection of delta. So, this delta, it gives additional moment do sa ating long column. Kumbaga, mas malaki yung bending niya. Even though, halimbawa, meron siyang moment, kaya lang, yung moment na yon is hindi talaga yun yung na-experience niya. And if you remember, for the formula for moment, moment natin is P times distance. So as you can see here, let's say we're trying to find out the moment at the center of your column. So since meron siyang movement na delta or meron siyang deflection na delta, it will cause your PU or yung ating action load na mag-moment dito sa point natin. So yun yung tinatawag nating P delta na moment. So that's why we need to magnify ngayon yung ating movement doon sa ating long column. Even though hindi yun talaga na-experience niya na moment. Again, since because of the bending of your long column, we need to add more moments para pagka nagdi-design tayo, mas maganda yung design natin and makompensate yung additional na moment na na-experience ng ating long column. So that's why we're analyzing now yung long column. Ngayon, there are ways to determine yung columns natin if it is long column or let's say slender. Pag sabi nating slender, ito yung tinatawag nating long column. So, dalawang criteria kapag meron tayong brace against sideway, not brace against sideway, and then yung brace against sideway natin. Pag sabing not brace against sideway, so wala siyang resistance due to translational motion. Pero kapag brace against sideway, so restricted yung kanyang translational motion. So pag not brace against sideway, masasabi natin na siya ay long column. Pagka KLU over R ay greater than 22. Pero kapag brace against sideway, yung KLU over R ay 34 or greater than 34 plus 12 M1 over M2. Where the value of K is the effective length factor, LU is the unsupported length, and R is the radius of gyration. Yung M1 natin, that is smaller factor and moment. And then M2 is the larger factor and moments. Kumbaga, naka-load combination na yung moments natin. So yung ratio between M1 and M2 ay meron siyang value depende doon sa curvature ng ating column. Gaya ng binanggit natin kanina, there are two types of curvature dun sa ating column. Bawa, ito yung column natin. Pag nag-bend siya na ganito, that is what we call your single curvature. And then, yung another one, yung double curvature, ganito yung kanyang bend. So, yung ratio ng M1 over M2 is negative kapag single. And then, positive naman kapag double curvature. So, halimbawa, ito yung ating column. So, as you can see, the end moments are 20 kilonewton meter and 30 kilonewton meter. Uh, doesn't matter kung Anong location ng ating yung smaller moment tsaka yung larger moment. Nasa taas yung smaller moment, siya pa rin yung M1 natin. Kung nasa baba naman, yung smaller, siya pa rin yung M1. Doesn't matter. Again, ang tinitingnan natin is yung values. So in this case, yung M1 natin ay yung 20 kilonewton and then yung M2 natin ay yung 30 kilonewton. So yung effective length factor K, actually, there are table for values and also we can compute them. So ito yung definition for effective length factor K. So for compression members braced against sideway, effective length factor K should be taken as 1 unless there's analysis shows that a lower value is justified. Then for compression not braced against sideway, effective length factor should be greater than 1.0. So as you can see here, so kapag yung ating column is not is braced against sideway, so ibig sabihin, wala siyang movement lateral, no? No lateral motion. So yung lateral motion natin ay alam naman natin galing siya sa mga lateral loads like for example earthquake, wind loads. So yon, no? So ibig sabihin, mas stable yung ating columns. Unlike kapag hindi siya braced against sa sideway, baga may effect na yung ating earthquake o kaya yung ating mga lateral loads. So tumataas ngayon yung kanyang effective length factor. So then K can also be obtained using the Jackson and Moreland alignment chart. So ito yung ating mga table for values of K. So again, sabay ko nga kanina, it is based from the support condition. Halimbawa, itong number 1, ang kanyang support condition ay fixed both ends. So ibig sabihin ng K factor is we need to determine ano ba yung length, yung talagang nagbe-bend sa ating column. So since ito ay fixed, so somewhere here at this portion, ito yung nag-govern na length ng ating column. So kumbaga maliit lang, hindi siya yung full length. So because of the forces or moment, nagbe-bend yung column natin but hindi yung full length because of the support na fixed end on both ends. So ngayon, yung kanyang value ng K is 0.5. So kumbaga, liliit yung length natin. So yung length natin, yung total length mismo ng ating column, i-multiply natin by 0.5. So kumbaga, yun yung maging effect. So meron tayong recommended design value of K. So kapag nag-design ka, you can use also the value of 0.65. Again, kasi nga, nagdi-design tayo. So gusto natin mas malaki yung effect or mas malaki yung length na i-consider natin para sa design ng column. So, kapag ganito yung condition, yung ganitong type of support is rotation-free but translation fixed. Ibig sabihin, hinge support. That is number 2. Hinge and then fixed. So, 0.7 yung kanyang K. Then, meron naman dito, yung ating kanyang rotation, fixed, pero nagmo-move siya. So, may lateral motion. So, 1.0. Then, both hinge. So, 1.0 din. Pero kapag ito, parang cantilever na siya. So, isa lang yung support niya. So, nag-move laterally yung ating uh, isang support ng column natin. Then, wala rin siyang resistance due to rotation. So, 2.0. As you can see, siyempre, malaki yung bending, di ba? So, nagiging times 2 yung kanyang effective length. Then, ganun din kapag hinge lang support and ito naman, fixed end but there's a translational motion or free yung ating translation, so 2.0 din yung value ng K natin. Okay, so ito naman yung ating Jackson and Moreland alignment chart. So meron tayong two categories, braced frames tsaka unbraced frames. So syempre, pagka sinabi unbraced frame, meron tayong mga translational motion dyan. Again, nag-move na laterally kasi nga because of the lateral loads. So, let's use this alignment chart. So, meron tayo ditong alignment chart. Meron tayong psi A, saka psi B, and then K. Ito yung ating effective length factor. So, yung psi values natin, so ito yung pwede natin gamitin. Psi value, that is equivalent to uh, infinite kapag pin support, no? And then, kapag psi value naman, that is equivalent to 0 kapag fixed, no? fixed end. Okay? So, let's verify yung mga values natin dito sa ating table. So, halimbawa, ito yung number 1. So, meron tayo ditong fixed end, both ends, no? Both ends ay fixed. So, check natin kung talagang ang value ng kanya ay 0.5. Ganito. Since fixed end, both ends, so brace frame siya. So, sabi nga natin, ganito siya. Ito yung column natin. Both fixed, yung point A and then point B. So, yung value natin ng psi sa A ay equivalent sa 0 kasi nga fixed, di ba? Then yung psi sa B naman, since fixed din, so equivalent to 0. So, ipa-plot natin siya dito sa alignment chart and then i-connect na. So, kung saan siya tumapat dito sa ating chart ng K, ito yung value ng ating effective length factor. So, that's why that is equivalent to 0.5. Okay, so ito yung nakikita nating values dyan. Okay, next. Try naman natin yung number 2. Ito ay hinge or pin support, di ba? So, kung pin siya, so let's say point A, that is pin. So, yung psi value ng A natin is infinite. And then dito naman ay fixed. So, yung psi ng B natin is equivalent to 0. So, psi A is pin. And then 0 naman yung sa B natin. So, if we try to plot it, no? So, yung tatamaan niyang value do sa K natin is approximately equivalent to 0.7. So, that's why yung value ng K natin dito ay 0.7. Okay? So, ganyan natin siya kinocompute. So, let's try another one. Yung, ito naman, yung number 3. Ito ay may lateral motion, no? Ang sabi dito, rotation fixed, pero nagtra-translate siya free. So, ibig sabihin ay unbraced frame siya. Okay? Dito tayo titingin niya sa unbraced frame. Even though fixed yung ating support, pero meron siyang translational motion. So, let's consider it as a fixed value. Pero, since may translational motion siya, so yung ating magiging value ay 0 pa rin. Kasi nga fixed. Then, dito naman, yung side value dito natin ay this A, ito ay B. Yung value natin ng sign ng B is equivalent to 0. So, i-connect natin siya. So, yung mapaplot natin sa unbraced frame, yung value ng K ay 1.0. Kaya 1.0 siya. Okay? So, how about itong number 4, 1.0. So, both hinge. So, ibig sabihin, braced pa rin siya. Kasi wala siyang translational motion. So, dito tayo sa brace frame. Parehong in. So, therefore, infinite ang kanyang value ng psi. So, somewhere here, and then ipa-plot natin, ko-connect. So, yung value ng K ay 1.0. Okay? Ganyan, no? So, let's try. Ito, isa pa. No? Itong, how about this one? Cantilever na siya. So, free siya ng translation, free ng rotation, pero fix siya sa isang side. Ibig sabihin, yung side dito is equivalent to 0. Then, yung side natin dito ay, let's say, infinite. No? Okay? So, let's plot. Yung sa point A natin ay infinite. And then, 0 naman yun sa point B. Ito, connect natin. So, as you can see, tumama siya sa point. So, that's why 2 yung value ng K natin. So, you can try doon sa isa pa kung pareho lang din ba yung makukuha natin. But that's how we compute using Jackson-Moreland yung ating effective length factor K. Okay, next. Then for radius of gyration, even though we have the formula for radius of gyration, kaya lang concrete ang pinag-uusapan natin. So sa concrete, we're dealing with two materials. Meron tayong steel at concrete. So to let's say, parang padaliin natin or to approximate yung value ng radius of gyration, ito na lang yung gagamitin natin. Pagka rectangular members tayo, yung R natin is 0.3 H natin. So yung H natin dyan, it is based from the bending ng ating column. So halimbawa, ito yung ating column, rectangular. And then, nagbe-bend siya in this direction. So, dito siya sa axis na to, nagbe-bend. So, therefore, yung H natin ay ito. Yung tinutukoy na H. On the other hand, kapag kaiba naman yung direction ng ating moment, kapag ka ganito, so ito yung i-consider natin na H natin. Then for circular compression member, so kahit ano namang position niya, iisa lang naman yung diameter niya. So that is R equivalent to 0.25 D. These are just approximation. Since sabi nga natin, yung concrete natin is reinforced by reinforcing bars. Diba? Diba yung computation ng ating radius of gyration. So, ginagawa natin ay sinisimplified na lang natin. Next. So, ganito naman natin minamagnified yung ating moment. Kasi nga, sabi natin, pag slender ang column, long column, tumataas yung moment because of the additional delta na nagbe-bend doon sa ating column or yung bending ng column natin. So, to compute that, ito yung ating magnified moment, MC. That is your magnified moment. That is the combination of the magnified moment due to the gravity loads. Ito ay due to gravity loads. And then, ito naman isa is magnified moment due to lateral loads. So, ito yung magnification factor natin, yung delta B and then delta S. Again, yung delta B natin, para yun sa gravity loads, yung delta S naman ay lateral loads na. Yung M2B, that is the larger factored moment. So, di ba may M1 and M2 tayo? Kung yung pinakamalaki, syempre yun yung magnify natin. So, pagka nagde-design tayo, yung mas mataas naman yung ginagamit natin talaga. Then yung M2S naman, that is a larger factored moment due to lateral loads. So, we need to separate yung ating gravity loads tsaka yung lateral loads natin. Okay, the next, so yung M2 naman natin, M2S due to lateral loads, 0 kapag wala naman tayong data or moment due to the lateral loads. But we need to compute also the minimum value of your M2. Kumbaga, hindi tayo pwedeng bumaba dyan. So yung M2, that is equivalent sa PU multiplied by 0.15 plus 0.03 H. So yung H natin, this is column dimension in the direction of the bending. Katulad nung discuss ko kanina. Next. So, yung pag-compute naman ng magnification factor natin. The magnification factor, yung delta B natin can be computed using CM. Ito yung for gravity loads ito, no? Gravity loads. So, CM over 1 minus PU over 0.75 PC. And then, it should not be less than to 1.0. Ganun din naman sa delta S natin. Kaya lang, pinagkaiba dito, yung ating formula ng delta S is Cm over 1 minus summation of PU over 0.75 summation of PC. So, ano yung difference ng dalawa? Sa gravity loads kasi, isang column lang yung kinoconsider natin. Ano lang yung mismong column na ina-analyze natin, yun lang ang i-consider. But in the lateral loads naman, ganito siya. Kasi yung ating frame, pagka meron tayong lateral loads, so sabay-sabay kasi nag-act yung ating columns. So sabay-sabay sila nagbe-bend. So i-consider natin yung bawat PU sa bawat frames natin. PU, PU, PU 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ganun din yung sa PC natin. So kukumpitin natin yung value ng PC sa buong floor na to para makompute natin yung delta S natin. So, ganyan ang pag-compute ng ating delta S. So, here is the formula of the variables na diniscuss natin kanina. So, yung CM natin, that is equivalent to 0.6 minus 0.4 of M1 over M2. So, yung value ng M1 over M2 ay katulad din kanina, negative for single curvature, then positive naman kapag double curvature. Then, yung PC natin, that is pi squared EI over KLU squared. So, yung ating EI can be computed using 0.2 ECIG plus ES times ISE over 1 plus beta DNS. Ito, ginagamit natin itong formula na ito kapag meron tayong reinforcement dito. Kasi ito ay based from the moment of inertia of your reinforcement also. Ito kadalasan kapag nag-check tayo ng capacity, pwede natin gamitin yan. But if there's no detail for your reinforcement, conservatively, we can use yung EI, approximately 0.4 EC, IG over 1 plus beta DNS. The next, ito yung ating meaning ng bawat variable. Nakita natin sa mga formula. IG is the moment of inertia of the gross section, neglecting the reinforcement. Gross area ng concrete mismo. Then ISE, the moment of inertia of the reinforcement. EC is the modulus of elasticity of concrete, that is 4700 square root of FC prime. Then ES is the modulus of elasticity of steel. And then beta DNS is 1.2 of PDL and then over PU. So yung PDL natin, that is the axial dead load. And then yung PU natin is the factor, axial load. So may load combination na itong ating PU.